Hey everyone, it's Teresa, and today I've got a really fun, different video for you, but I do want to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video, and we're going to learn all about making some money with your Cricut. First, I'm starting off with this piece from Michaels, and I've got the wood tint from Folk Art in walnut, and I'm just going to give it a full coating of it, not being too particularly concerned about it, and then we're going into Design Space. I'm going to get my square, and I'm going to, of course, add in the measurements for that little rectangular shaped wood object because we're going to make a piece of decor, because that is definitely one of the many ways you can make some money with your Cricut. And then I'm just going to do on here Fall in Love, because why not? You know, fall is super popular right now, and this is kind of one of those great things that is just good year round too. So I'm going to use this font. It's called Annie Lou, I believe. I'm going to list it for you down below, of course. That way you can look it up if you want to. I'll get it kind of sized up and everything into my box. And at first I thought I was going to make it really narrow like that, and I ended up changing my mind down the line. I was like, nope, can't quite do it, but that's okay. The box is just for reference, so once you're done with getting everything down to the size you want, you're just going to turn off the little eyeball. Like if you notice on the right hand side of the screen, you can see yep, there we go. You're going to turn that off so it doesn't cut that. So once we're done, we're just going to click Make It, and we're going to go in and tell it this is going to be on a mat, and here it is on your mat. I'm going to be doing this in some removable vinyl because I'm going to use it like a backward stencil, if that makes any sense. We're going to go in and weed it just like we normally would, and I've got this handy dandy little light box. I'll have, you can go and get it from Cricut. It makes weeding a little bit easier, being able to see. It gives you some light like underneath it. And make sure when you're cutting things that you check your the little blades every so often, because it's a new blade, but it had like a little bit of either vinyl or paper or something on it, and it was just wreaking havoc on my ability to cut my vinyl, and it doesn't normally have a problem, so check that every so often. So I make it work though. Sometimes if you have some bigger decals, it's easier to kind of cut it as you go. Like I said, I was just having a hard time with this one, so check your blades to make sure you don't have the same problem. Once we're done, I'm just going to put down my transfer tape and peel it on back. And this is the gridded one. I personally don't think to me it matters too much if it's got the grid, because I never put it on straight anyways. So you know how it works. And then we're going to just find the spot here on our little piece of wood. Now what I love about it when I buy them from like Michaels or something is they've already got all of the hardware and everything like that on there. So we're just going to, of course, get it all nice and stuck to our surface. And on this one, it was funny. The transfer tape came off pretty easy and left my vinyl on there. I was really happy because I'd had a problem with a project before, before this one. And we're going to just, stick it on there really good, because now we are going to go over this with some Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. Like I said, this is kind of like our reverse stencil. What you're going to do is it's going to give it a very, worn, chippy paint job on it, but you're going to make sure that you get a pretty decent amount of coverage all around the lettering. When you're doing it all around the lettering like that, it's going to make sure that you can really see it, but then you'll still see all of that gorgeous like stained wood, under where your stencil is, because we're going to peel it off in a minute. This is really great for, if you have a small business. These little signs like that, I mean, you can just make them so quick, especially because you're using that wood tint. It dries so much faster than like a regular stain does. And then when you're doing a paint job like this, it dries really fast as well. So you can just churn out these little signs. And then we're just going to take our weeding tool and pull up all of that vinyl. Again, this is a removable vinyl, so it does pull up pretty easily, and you can do this with a permanent vinyl too if you want to. It just kind of depends on you. This is just particular to what I like to use. And one thing to be careful, I pulled up some of it a little too fast on the in. I pulled up a little bit of like the bits of the wood. So I'm just going to go in and fix that real quick. I'll just take my stain I'm just going to paint in there with a teeny tiny little paintbrush, just to pull, you know, just in case there's a couple little spots that you can see like the original wood color. And I'm going to do the same thing on, you know, oh, I had a couple little slivers that were sticking up. I didn't do a great job, you know, going in and sanding it first because I was in a rush, in a hurry. It happens a lot. And here it is all finished for you. I think it just turned out really great. Now on this one, I've got a couple of pieces of scrap wood that I'm just going to go ahead and stain, and then it doesn't matter too terribly much what the color is. This is just going to be a nice little board for me to paint on top of. I'm going to use my same Rust-Oleum linen white. Actually, the first one was the plaster. This one's going to be linen white. And we're going to kind of go in the same direction as far as like setting up my board. I'm going to go in with my square and set all of it to the right dimensions of our wood project so you can get a really good idea of what it's going to look like before, you know, you go through the whole, you know, the whole process of designing and cutting, and then you're like, oh wait, it doesn't fit right. Because that has obviously never happened to me. So this one is going to be my sign for my like little area that I'm going to sell in. And I'm going to use the same font as I did on the last one. I'm trying to keep like a really consistent like look about things. And this is just going to be Theresa B Designs. This is going to be, like I said, if I were doing like a booth, I don't know yet. I don't know yet if I'm going to do a booth or if I'm just going to do craft fairs or whatnot. But I wanted this so that I could put it out, and if people kind of get used to seeing it, they get to know me, they know what to look for. Does that make sense? I'm sure it makes sense. And you can do the same thing, you know, you can make stuff that's really inexpensive. Now, I am going to actually bring in something I designed elsewhere because I want to, again, be consistent. I am just going to do my uploads, and I've got this little bee that I'm uploading it directly into Design Space. It's made it, when I actually designed it, I used it with a transparent background. That's the important part. And then you're just going to size it down to however it's going to fit right within your sign. Like I said, that little bee is kind of like my little mascot, part of my logo, that kind of thing. But I like that I used it, you know, that I can upload it from something else so that I can get the same exact little bee if I want to put them on business cards, if I want to put them on my tags, however it is. And with my stuff that I'm making for my booth, we'll just call it a booth for now. I really hope to eventually get one. So I want it to all be consistent, like I said. Now I'm going to cut this all out, and on this one I actually ended up cutting it twice because I wanted to make two sides of the sign, and I kind of forgot about that, but that's all right. This first one we are going to do without the mat because I'm fancy now, guys. I got my Cricut Maker 3 that I'm so excited about. You just don't even know. If you have a business where you use your Cricut and you're thinking about buying a new one, it's worth it, guys. All right, so I've got, and don't mind my arm shots there, I've got it in the little roll holder. You just slide it in there, get it set up into your machine, and like away it goes. That roll of vinyl, guys, 75 feet. Holy moly, holy cow. That's a lot of vinyl. So it went through, did it really quickly. Like I said, I ended up flipping it around so I could get on the other side of it because I kind of forgot I was going to do it double-sided. It worked out just fine though. So we are going to cut it in half, and I'm just going to weed through it the same way I did just a couple minutes ago using my light board, finding the settings, and we're just going to go through and weed. I'm going to do this pretty quickly, showing you kind of how it all works. Obviously you've seen, you know, people weed things before. Now this is their smart vinyl that you can get, and it makes things so much faster. I mean, like I said before, when you are trying to like churn out some stuff to sell, whether it's a craft fair or booth or whatever, speed is such a nice thing, and this thing weeded like a dream. Let me tell you, weeded like a dream. Super easy to do it. I mean, obviously it's big letters, so that helps, but you know what I mean though. It definitely was so much easier to do. Now we're going to use our transfer tape to move this over to our board that we've already painted. Can you tell I'm having a hard time getting the transfer tape edge up? It's all right though. This is a little trick for you. Flip it upside down when you're peeling it off so you can peel the, I don't know what to call that, the carrier paper. There we go. You can peel the carrier paper away. Now, if you are getting the big rolls like you get of the smart vinyl, like it's in the same category kind of thing, the Cricut vinyl, you do not need to stick it to something else. I did that on this roll and I shouldn't have. That's why I had so much problem. It has like just enough stick. Maybe it needs a little bit more stick, but it definitely doesn't need less. So, word to the wise. Once I've gotten it in the spot that I want, then I'm just going to head and go through and burnish it, and we're going to peel back our transfer tape. And this sign will, at least this part of the sign will be done. But we're not done yet. Pay no mind to those little bees that are on there. I do end up going in and redoing them. But since this is going to be double-sided, I'm going to take in some of my Gorilla Glue just to make sure this sucker is not going anywhere, and I'm going to add in a good amount of hot glue to get that immediate hold, so again, it's not going to go anywhere. What you want to make sure though is make sure that it's on the right side each direction. I did that beforehand, don't worry. I know you're probably thinking like, oh, she's saying that because she put it in the wrong way, didn't she? But I didn't. And then I'm just going to plop a couple of things on the top part just to hold it in and get a really good hold, get it dried, set in place and all that. Now I've got my little bee, that's my little logo guy. I made them yellow at first, and I thought, you know what, that is just not the right color. You couldn't see it well enough, so I made it just in the black. Did I do it in black? I might be lying. I think I ended up doing it in dark blue. Yes, I did it in dark blue. Those are kind of like my colors. I'm doing like a mustardy yellow and navy blue, and I thought that those were just really nice colors. I like them for spring, I like them for summer, I like them for fall. I liked it because I was like, I can just kind of switch it out, like make yellow the dominant color during spring, make the blue color the dominant color in, summer or fall. You kind of get the idea of it. Maybe add a little gold in there for Christmas. We'll see. So I'm taking this nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to line my sign all the way around to kind of hide that unsightly line where the two pieces of the wood meet. And I'm doing it with a pretty fair amount of hot glue. Like I said, it's just going to give it like a nice finishing look to it. Just make sure you put down enough glue, and I did it all the way around. Oh, I thought I didn't show this to you, but apparently I did. Oh, it's a short little clip. Never mind. I'm just checking to make sure for length. I went ahead and did it all the way around, and I did the top as a separate piece and then had these ones come up the side, so I had somewhere to tie it and kind of make it look like it's obviously not seamless because you can see where it stops and ends, but that's okay. I thought that it just kind of worked better this way. I'm going to tie a big old knot up on the top, very rustic, as you can tell. And I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on the edges to keep it from fraying and getting kind of weird looking. I'm touching it after it's cooled down a little bit. Don't worry, I did not burn myself. And I'm going to add a little glue inside the knot as well. Here's how it turned out. I really love it. I think this is going to make it so much easier to find my space, especially if I get lost. So on the next one, we're doing the same thing. We're going into the design space. I'm uploading something that I had designed elsewhere. This was kind of like a custom t-shirt that someone had asked me to do. Okay, I decided I wanted to do it for myself, but that's all right. So I'm thinking like chalk paint, master chalker, that kind of thing. And of course, we are going to, like I said, I put it in from that design from somewhere else. I had a particular font and things that I wanted to work with. And I'll get it sized up. Again, I'm putting this on a t-shirt. I'm going to put it on the back part of a t-shirt. Originally, I was thinking I was going to put it on the front. And then I was like, no, I think it'll look cute on the back. And I have some more smart material, so I'm going to do it without the mat, and I'm going to mirror it because it is a shirt. It's getting it's an iron-on material, so you got to make sure you mirror it. I'm using the Smart Iron-On. I should have, however, used the Smart Holographic Iron-On. So this is going to be the same thing. You put your material in your little roll holder, and you're just going to feed it in to your machine, easy as can be, let me tell you. Hit your buttons to get you going. Once they're blinking, it's going to make sure that everything kind of fits in there the way it's supposed to. And then it's just going to start to cut. So I've already weighted it and gotten it all ready to go, and I've got my shirt ready. I've got my easy press. I'll leave the link where you can find the heat guide. It makes it so much easier. And then you're just going to put down a piece of wax paper. It just kind of helps, you know, make sure that you're not overheating something. And you push the Cricut button to go, and it just makes it so easy. Here's the end result. I love this holographic vinyl. So thank you everyone for coming and checking out this video. I hope you got some great ideas of different things you can use your Cricut for your business. Make sure to leave me a comment below and subscribe if you're new here. I'd absolutely love it if you would do that. And I will see you next time.